There's two ways I see of doing this. We go in smart, or we go in loud and dumb.
And
Remember
talking about loud and dumb, this is Keith Stuart from The Guardian. I'm the games editor, and I'm joined today by my colleague, games writer Nick Cowen.
Hello.
And we're going to be looking at one of the missions from Grand Theft Auto 5. It's kind of the earliest heist mission, just to sort of give you a bit of a flavour about what you do in the game. Nick, what's going on here?
Well, basically, you're meeting with Lester at the gang's HQ, and he's talking you through the different approaches of how to take down this jewellery store.
And Lester is the fixer of the game, isn't he? He sets up all the heists that you've got to do and plans them all out.
Yeah, if you've ever seen Heat, he'd be the Tom Noonan, John Voight character from that. He doesn't really get involved in it, though.
I've got a feeling there's going to be a lot of Heat references.
Oh, yeah. Funnily enough, an open-world crime game set in a version of Los Angeles with professional thieves. Who knew?
Yeah.
So yeah, what he's doing here is he's basically saying you've got two approaches to this jewellery store. One of them is to go in loud, and one is to go in soft. And we decided.
Well, let's go in smart.
Yeah.
Because essentially you've always got a bully's way of getting in and a stealthy way of getting in.
An artiste's way.
And we're artistes, obviously. So
yeah, we're artisting this all over the place. Once you've selected the way you want to go in, you get a crew. Now, here you got a driver, Eddie Toe, and you might notice that the different drivers have different skill levels. And at the bottom, there's a cut there. You see he wants 14% of the take, and he wants 8% of the take. We selected Eddie Toe, mainly because he's a better driver.
Yeah, driving is very important in this game, if you've not played it before. And you may have spotted a name there. We'll go back to him in a second. There he is. So the game, we're not going to tell you any more, but the game has lots of references to previous games in the Grand Theft Auto series. So there's a few characters and a few things that happen that you're going to recognise from previous installments.
Indeed. Now the thing about these different crew members is they all take a cut of the proceedings, and their cut is usually reflected on how skillful they are. But the thing is that, for example, here we've got Ricky Lukens, who's not very good, and he's going to want 4% of the cut. But if you use him on various jobs, you can level him up, but his cut will never take. So it's possible to take someone...
Never change.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It will never change. So it's possible to take someone who's fairly useless to begin with, and then level them up to the level they're very, very skilled, but they will never ask for more of your money. And that is an important thing. Yeah,
the important thing about Ricky as well is although the others are kind of stock characters who have come up at the start of the game, Ricky is someone that we met in an earlier event, so you can kind of pick up new crew members as you go along, which is quite good.
Yeah. He looks like Neil McCauley, doesn't he, from Heat?
Yeah.
Do you think that's intentional?
I think there's a lot of intentional. It's funny because Grand Theft Auto, Dan Houser said that they don't really look at cinema anymore, but you just feel as though there's so many things in here that even unconsciously they're taking. And Heat is one, and obviously you can't get away from the Tarantino I think influence in this game.
Yeah. And To Live and Die in LA.
Yeah,
obviously.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Right. So passage of time. Look at that. Look at that backdrop.
And you can just see in the background, obviously, that's downtown Los Santos. And Lester kind of hides out in a series of downbeat ex-industrial buildings.
Yeah. His expertise never changes. It's just usually the drab surroundings. So you got your crew assembled, and you can tell from the way that hacker's dressed that he's probably not the right man for the job.
Well, he was recruited from the game's version of Facebook, wasn't he?
Life Waster.
Life Waster.
Yeah.
And where it's obligatory for everyone to wear cargo shorts and sit on beanbags.
Indeed. And I think that you actually, when you walk around the building, that there's a hacky sack test you have to pass in order to get employed.
Yeah, absolutely. You cannot work here unless you can do the hacky sack.
Yeah.
So
basically the plan is we are going to go in disguised as exterminators, and we're going to use gas canisters to drug everyone through the air vents, pick up as much money as we possibly can, and then leg it. That's the plan. It's
a considered combination of extreme brutality and clever hacking and drugs, which you'll find quite a lot in.
Now, the thing is here, though, that we've obviously finished the game, and once any mission that you've played is available immediately for you to do over. I've actually never seen that done in an open world game before, especially one that has like I think what 74 main missions.
Main missions. Yeah, and you know, countless procedural tasks and dynamic missions and things.
Now, when the first time you play this, you have to source your own gas by stealing it, but obviously when you reload it, it takes that kind of grunt work out of the equation.
Yeah, a lot of them, the key heists, there's always a little bit of a shopping list that you've got to get through beforehand, which is quite funny. It's like quite practical, but it's good because it kind of builds tension towards the main event.
Without spoiling anything, I did drive around once for half an hour looking for a fire engine.
Right, we've all been there.
Exactly.
I think this is, you can see in the distance there, that I think is based on the hotel that you can see, the Temple Hotel, I think is based on the Figura Hotel in downtown Los Angeles, which is where there was a massive billboard for Grand Theft Auto 5 actually in Los Angeles.
Indeed. There's also an incomplete building which I'm convinced is this game's version of the Marriott Hotel. So no one will be networking at E3 in Los Santos this year.
Yeah, so
there you go.
Oh yes, there it is. Yeah. So obviously, although it's Los Santos, it's very heavily based on Los Angeles. The team wandered around Los Angeles for months, talking to ex-cops, ex-FBI agents, ex-criminals, trying to get a feel for the city. And Los Santos is really a kind of hyper-real depiction of Los Angeles.
And it's also so well designed just to drive around in. I mean, there are some missions where you'll notice that you drove from one place to the other. That was the end of the mission, and you didn't really mind because it was so well realized and it's so much fun to drive around in that, you know, it doesn't feel like a chore. What I also liked about Los Santos, more than Liberty City, is the gridlock is a bit more, you know, it's a bit more, you know, it's easier to deal with. Yeah,
you're driving very sensibly here.
That won't last.
Is this a driving test?
It won't last.
It's funny. I always start Grand Theft Auto
red
games
light.
being
Yeah.
I always start quite law-abiding, but by the end of it, I'm just using the pavements just to get around quicker.
I find myself getting road rage over stuff that you really shouldn't get road rage over. Like there's someone in front of you at a red light, and you're going move, and it's like, well, it is a red light.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
And the I really do think the handling has come on since Grand Theft Auto 5 as well. Since Grand Theft Auto 4, the cars feel really quite nice to drive.
I didn't spend anywhere near as much money on cabs in Los Santos as I did in Liberty City, I have to say. Now this is me not noticing. The actual activity points over there. Whoops. So what we're going to do now is drop off Franklin so he can go and drug everyone through the air vents, and this is where the sort of different perspectives of the different characters come in, because you can switch between characters on the fly. And now we're not Michael anymore, we're Franklin.
Yeah, and you can do that at various points. Well, you can do that almost whenever you like when you're off mission. But on mission, there are certain sequences where you can either stay with one character all the time or swap onto a different one.
It really makes gun battles a lot easier, just because if you don't have an angle for a shot with one character, you can flip to another one who maybe does have that angle.
And also, each character has their own special ability. Franklin's is driving, so he will show you that in a bit. But Michael goes into a kind of Max Payne style bullet time if you press both the analog sticks down together. Whereas Trevor goes into a kind of berserker rage, which massively multiplies his damage while also massively reducing the damage that he takes. So, you know, those combined, you can flip between those and do quite a lot of damage.
And that also, the abilities that are useful on different aspects of different missions. For example, if you ever have to take someone out in a high-speed chase, the person to do it with is Franklin.
Absolutely.
Right.
And I love I mean, just the sheer amount of detail in this game. It really feels like, I said in my review, it feels like a world which has been built to explore properly. And it sounds like a really obvious thing to say about game levels, but most would just... There's areas of a map which have just almost been done as an afterthought in a lot of games, whereas everything in this game is so intricately modelled and thought out.
Right. I'm selecting the gas from the weapons wheel. Okay. And watch.
You've got to try and lob it into there.
I'll get this in first time every single time. Watch this. Here we go. No, threw it over the top of there. Let's try that again.
That was much better than my first.
That didn't happen. Take two. Okay, first time every time. There you go.
There we go. Well, just don't worry, Nick. We'll cut that bit out.
No, you won't. You're going to leave that in. I know you. Right. So Franklin's now got to go join the posse downstairs. Now we're going to flip back to Michael, who's he's
waiting outside.
Like I said earlier, that scene where we go and smash in the jewelry store reminds you a lot of the first the opening heist in the Beverly Hills Cop 2. You ever saw that?
Yeah, I can't remember Beverly Hills Cop 2. What I do know though is this part of the soundtrack is is from Tangerine Dream. They've got 3 people providing the score for this, well, 3 groups providing the score, and this part is Tangerine Dream, who also, talking about 80s action movies, provided the score for, they provided the score for Street Hawk and also Risky Business, I think. So.
Now you see that in the corner there it says take, and it's in red.
Yeah.
All right. I have to get a certain amount of money because I owe a very, very violent man a lot of money for wrecking his house.
It's just like real life for you, isn't it?
Exactly. Also, because we talked over the top of it, the hacker has basically told us he's rubbish, which we knew when we hired him. So we have 30 seconds before the alarm goes off, and we've got to get enough. You see, now the take's gone green, so we couldn't leave before that happened.
It's kind of supermarket sweep, with guns and diamonds
and gas masks. You're right. This is exactly like my life in Tottenham. All right. I wonder if he shouldn't have said that.
That might come back to haunt him.
Right, now, here we have the getaway.
I'll let you avoid the pedestrians. Good for you. Well done.
No, the whole safe driving thing that's going out the window right now. For me, it becomes a very kind of just don't fall over.
What I love about this world as well is you notice when you hit that sign, there's very little friction in the world of Grand Theft Auto, which like things like the pavements you can go up and down quite easily. I love the way that you don't get jarred to a halt by objects you feel as though you should be able to get through, even though in real life you couldn't.
Watch this. Now, this is Franklin's ability. I've clicked in both analog sticks and it's slowed down to kind of bullet time driving, just so I could navigate, through that small gap in the freeway. And there's another tight turn coming up here, and that's the other reason you use his ability, is so you can navigate turns like that.
Yeah, because you have retained the maneuverability, but at much less. Whoop.
Yeah, see, natural every single time. Yeah, this could be a good time to show how improved the checkpoints are, because if I lose these guys, we're going to be all right.
I think you might be okay actually. If you just speed it through this tunnel without hitting anything.
There's so many viewers watching this going, "You loser, Cowen." And I also love the fact that Keith's like, no, this is Nick playing this, definitely making all these mistakes. And it is.
Yeah.
And it is.
These are the only bikes you choose.
What's basically happened is Mike's gone off to get a van, and we're leading the cops a merry chase in the underground. Hey, well, didn't crash.
No, that's true.
And how tight's this corner? I know I won't need the bullet time for that. Essentially what we now need to do is follow these guys out into the storm drains. If you've ever been to LA, you'll know they have these huge sort of storm drains, these gullies that you can drive down.
Or if you've ever watched Grease or Terminator 2, obviously.
Or drive. I conked my head on the roof there. That's why you wear crash helmets, kids.
See, they say GTA is irresponsible, but it's showing you the benefits of wearing a helmet. So.
Absolutely. Helmets are important. We're driving through a sewer right now, so it's,
It's nice.
It's a good thing we
see
can't
all
smell
parts
anything.
of the city here.
Yeah, no, you really, really do. When you talk about exploring, you can explore. There's so much in this game.
And everything's open from the beginning as well, so you can just go wherever you like right from the start.
Yeah, it's not like GTA 4 where they closed off parts of the map for you to advance in the story. You can drive to any point of the map right from the beginning.
Hey, lovely.
And then, okay, now
so
back to Michael. Snap into Michael. This all, by the way, happens automatically, as you can see. Usually what happens is you bring up a wheel and then choose between the characters. Now, it's basically my job.
But sometimes it forces you if
especially if one of the characters is in trouble. Now, my job here is to essentially smash everything off the road, except, obviously, the 3 guys on bikes, which in my first playthrough I did actually squash Franklin, so that's something to watch out for.
Yeah, that's never good.
Yeah, see? Oh, look. I smashed your car.
You're adding greatly to the Los Santos police budget.
I think there's someone going to come out of it. Yep. And again. Now this is where I squashed Franklin, so you can see I take a huge...
yeah.
That's why I climbed the wall. I just thought, I'm going to hit him again. And
just look at that lovely pink sunset, which is so...
It's so Los Angeles.
Yeah, exactly.
It's so Los Angeles. We've been there so many times, and you do double take. I mean, the lighting in this game you do a double take on because they have it so spot on. It's frightening. I mean, even the rain, the sort of sense of the rainstorms that happen so infrequently out there.
Yeah. Well, they totally. I mean, there was an interview with Aaron Garbutt, who's one of the art directors, and on BuzzFeed, I think it was, and he was talking about how they'd spent just years and years getting the light absolutely right, and this is a game about obsession. I think this is an obsessive development team, and I think it really shows.
Yeah. No. Well, their obsession is our game. I think, because look at that sunset, that lovely pink sky.
Have a play with the radio. Let's put some good Los Angeles music on.
Yeah.
So
there we go. There's your phone.
Yeah, thanks. Yep. So what do we want? I kind of like Channel X, which is all punk.
Oh, Hall & Oates. Absolutely.
Got any more dudes waiting around that way? We did not just get away with that.
This is what I love about this game, that you can get these.
Sorry.
You can get these great disparities between what you're doing and the music you're listening to.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. The channel I'm listening to mostly is Los Angeles. It's Los Santos, which is all sort of new rap, and West Coast, which is all classic G-funk from back in the day.
I like Channel X because I loved going on the way to heists, listening to My War by Black Flag.
You have some unresolved issues, Keith.
That's why I like this game. It's cheaper than therapy.
Yeah. And you can get therapy in the game.
That's true, yeah.
So what now?
We get out of here. Keep
So
our heads
we
down.
dropped off the van,
You did good.
and
What'd I tell you, Lester, huh?
we're going to leave.
All right, look, everybody take off. Hey, Franklin.
So that's the first heist.
And yeah, and there's several more really big heists, but also lots of kind of little mini ones as well in the game, and it's fantastic fun. They get a lot more kind of complicated and a lot more hassle later on.
Yeah, it's not this easy, kids. It's never this easy.